Welcome to this Tutor to You Criminology video for WJEC Level 3 Applied Criminology. In this video we're focusing on biological theories of criminality, looking at Sheldon and Somatotypes. Biological explanations for assessment criteria 2.1 are broken down into physiological, genetic and neurochemical explanations of criminal behaviour. In this video, we're going to look at physiological explanation that is offered by Sheldon and Somatotypes. Physiological explanations examine the idea that criminal behaviour is a result of an individual's physiology. For example, in an earlier video in this series, we looked at how Lombroso suggested that criminals have common physical traits, and that this was the cause of that behaviour. While Lombroso often focused on facial features, Sheldon examines the correlation between criminality and body types, what are also referred to as somatotypes. Sheldon and Lombroso were in agreement that physiological traits were common amongst criminals, and like Lombroso, Sheldon studied the physiology of convicted criminals. However, Sheldon examined body types, or somatotypes. He categorized individuals into three distinct somatotypes based upon their physical appearance and found correlations between criminality and a specific body type, that of a mesomorph. He also examined the other two types and drew conclusions about their behavior and personality based upon them having either an ectomorphic or endomorphic somatotype. The three categories that Sheldon created are shown on the screen here. Firstly, endomorphs, who Sheldon suggested had a round body shape, lack of muscle toning and wide hips. Sheldon suggested that people with this body shape were more likely to be sociable and outgoing and less likely to commit crime. A second somatotype Sheldon identified was that of the ectomorph, thinner, taller and lacking both fat and muscle than the endomorph. Ectomorphs were more likely to be self-conscious and emotionally restrained. The final category was mesomorphs, who appeared as muscular, with strong limbs and broad shoulders. These somatotypes were sensation-seeking and risk-taking, and displayed very dominant characteristics. These traits, Sheldon suggested, led them to commit more crime. If we compare the descriptions of the three somatotypes shown on the screen, we can see the distinct differences between Sheldon's body types. The shorter, slightly overweight endomorph and the taller, thinner ectomorph were seen as less criminal than the broad and muscular mesomorph. But to what extent is this a typical categorization of people's bodies today? Changes to diet, exercise and working patterns in contemporary society have created a wider range of body types. Furthermore, this says little about female criminality, or even what is seen as a desirable body type in modern society. It's largely based upon outdated stereotypes, and therefore limited in explaining crime in contemporary society. However, Sheldon's ideas have been supported by other research, particularly by Gluck and Gluck, who replicated Sheldon's work and found that 60% of criminals had the mesomorphic body type. Furthermore, Sheldon's research is seen as reliable as he produced further research that backed up his findings. However, there are limitations to his approach. Critics have suggested that body shape does not dictate criminality, but rather criminality impacts on an individual's body shape. Individuals who look to commit violent crimes will adapt their bodies, for example by working out in the gym, in order to become able to physically dominate victims. As well as being based on stereotypes, Sheldon's work has been criticised for criminalising the working class, many of whom will develop mesomorphic somatotypes through manual work. Labourers, shipbuilders and miners would have all developed mesomorphic somatotypes through their work, but this does not necessarily mean that they would have become criminals. As such, Sheldon's typology is limited in its explanation of criminal behaviour.